Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Well, it's been 2 months since the coronavirus first broke out. Things are really starting to deteriorate in the United States. We lost Abby last night, and the virus has mutated into some sort of zombie creating menace. Have people scratching at my door trying to get inside. I tried going down to Costco for no more supplies, but the National Guard was preventing all and any people from getting in. They said that they need to save the supplies for survivors later. Of course, production has grinded to a complete standstill. Schools are closed. I'm afraid that I'm going to be caught soon. Wife had a little bit of a cough last night. This might be the last stream. I think we're all going to die. Who could have known that it would all end this way? No, I'm just kidding. There's been one unconfirmed case of coronavirus in the United States, and once again, market completely freaks out. Let's look at the chart. Man. So they had a little bit of a recovery yesterday, and then this was when we found out that there's an unconfirmed case. Okay, so that what that means is that somebody has caught the virus in the United States and they don't know where they got it. So there's somebody out there has been walking around and has given it to somebody else, and that this person that we have a confirmed case has probably given it to other people. So there's probably going to be some sort of an outbreak in the United States. We don't know how bad. We don't know what the effects of it are, but this is the thing. Let me come back to the camera here for a second. I want to stress again, because, it's been it's been almost a month now, hasn't it? Okay. There are two things that you need to know about this coronavirus. All right. Number one, people act irrationally around pandemics. That's the number one thing. And number two thing is we can't price this. We have no clue what the impact is. So everything that you are seeing is just panic. We don't know what the aggregate effect is on supply chains. We don't know how the United States is going to handle it. The thing I find so funny is that everybody is criticizing the administration's response to the coronavirus outbreak. I'm sorry. Do you need daddy government to come in and save you or you're going to die? I just think this is the most irrational I've ever seen people ever. But it's all headline driven. So what are you going to do? They're going to sell it. And the liquidity is still incredibly low. So it's just going to move around everywhere and be crazy. And the only thing that you can really do is trade with a larger stop. Or not trade at all. Anyways, the chart. E-mini down a little bit. I think we're past the 10% correction now, by the way. So if we go back to daily ES, we've wiped out everything since December. Which, you know what? Not such a big deal. Okay. If we were at 2,800, then I would be oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Right. Lucas says we're going to be fine. No, Lucas. Didn't you hear me? The National Guard is over at Costco. I can't get any supplies. No, you know what? Last night, we've done enough on the charts. I want to just yap about the coronavirus. I was thinking about this last night because people have been saying, oh, like the supply chains are going to shut down and you're not going to be able to get food and there's going to be a rush on the grocery store. So I went to Costco last night. There was nobody at Costco. It was kind of weird. There are always people at Costco. There was nobody. I went right through the line. I went and I bought those like frozen corn dogs. I'm pretty sure I have enough food for like, they say, oh, you should have food for a month. I have my food storage, of course, but I think I just bought food for like 3 months. Just those corn dogs. I could probably live for 3 months on that. Anyways, I'm sitting there at Costco and I'm like, how could there, like the idea, like I understand when it's a hurricane and you can't get supplies through because it's a hurricane. And so you need a few days. Sure. The corn dog diet is the best diet. Right? But a virus outbreak is going to cause a food shortage. Like, just sounds so ridiculous to me. It sounded so ridiculous to me when I was there in Costco. Maybe I'm going to end up eating my words. Maybe in a month from now, corn dogs is going to be all I'm going to have to eat. But I just thought it was ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. But who knows? And the thing that I find the funniest is that people are criticizing the administration's response to the coronavirus. Like, okay, yeah, one case in the United States. What is it that you want them to do? Okay. Well, the criticisms that they're coming up with is Mike Pence is the czar, and they don't like Mike Pence, of course. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, they cut some CDC funding, which is like, okay, yeah, you can get some person who's going to come out and they're going to say, oh, we're so much less safe because they cut funding to the CD. Well, of course, like, come on, guys. Of course he's going to say that. He wants more funding for his department because he makes more money that way. Of course they're going to say that. Maybe it was over. Maybe they didn't need that money. I don't know. Like, there's nobody sits down and says, okay, what is it that the government should do that's going to impact the lives of everyday people and is going to make us safer? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. What do you want them to do? You want them to do what China did? I think that's what they want. That's what they want. They want them to go all big daddy government China on us. Shut down all the schools. Block off the city streets with shopping carts. Come on. It's so silly.
Lucas says middle finger.
Saying, dude, I'm legit considering buying some ZB and setting a massive 32-stick stop and just relaxing for the day.
Lucas says no sorry.
Well, the thing is,
Lucas says wanted the finger points up.
I remember, people are irrational around pandemics, and we can't price it. We cannot price it. There was a note out yesterday on Twitter. One of the big complaints from the big funds to their brokers during this recent crisis was that their brokers were not providing them any market research on the actual impacts of the coronavirus. How do you can't? How do you do that? How do you judge that impact? Like, sir, you can't. You can't. Well, what does that tell you? That even the big funds, they don't know, and they're just selling on gut instinct.
Lucas says I'm considering the same as Uzi, but on the sell side on S.
No, I think you'd be much safer doing that on the ZB. Well, not the ZB, the 10-year. Oh my God. Look at the liquidity. We got some news coming up, though. We got a bunch of news coming up, so. Durable goods orders, we're looking for a reading of 1.3.
Says, look at that
PCE 1.6. Durable goods orders, spot 2. GDP price index, 1.4. Continuing jobless claims, 171. Here we go. 3 seconds. Man, there's no liquidity up. Okay. I'm waiting on the numbers. This is like they literally pulled everything. And like they're still only putting like 500 on. Okay, durable goods was 3.6 versus 1.3. Wow. Durable goods orders X transportation items is 1.9 versus spot 2. Wow, so transportation items was really good. GDP price index 1.3 versus 1.4. Not good for us bonds. Well, I mean, good for us bonds, I guess. Continuing jobless claims. No. Initial jobless claims 219 versus expected 212. So a little bit more than expected. GDP growth rate 2.1 versus an expected 2.1. So all in all, okay numbers. Anyways, we got some stuff to do today, guys. I'm wondering. I have a new setup. And we need to do some
Harlequin says when the S is almost as thin as gold lol.
Need to do some setup here. We actually probably could have gone along a little bit back. Maybe 5 minutes ago. But that's okay. I think that the E-mini is probably moving too fast for us to really test this particular setup. The ES is almost as thin as gold. Yeah, they're only putting like they pulled, and they didn't put the liquidity back.
Uzi Knesset says shit, ZB was like 60 on the inside, 10 either side there for a minute lol. Harlequin says if I want to see 20 to 30 lot orders on bid and offer, I switch over to gold or oil.
Yeah. Anyways, I remember where I was. Okay. Markets, people will be irrational around a pandemic, and we can't price this. I would not marry myself to a position. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's been down like 5 days in a row, and it looks ugly again today, and trying to buy the bottom is not very advisable. But at some point, this is going to flip and hard.
Uzi Knesset says I still remember when I first started in ZB, 900 to 1.5k at every level.
Oh, wow, really? Really? Oh, you probably was back when it was like really nice, huh? So, you know, you just be careful, right? Here's where, in this kind of market action...
Lucas says you are an old timer.
Teeny tiny little bits. Just take a tiny little bit from the noise in the trend. Don't try and, you know, unless you somehow end up with a position deep in the money, right?
Air Cages says somebody convince me why I shouldn't panic about Corona. The media is getting to me. Help.
Why I
Uzi
shouldn't
Knesset
panic.
says I still have videos from my learning stuff. Man, those days were simpler lol.
It's serious. You know what? So like, here's the thing. My Facebook page are posting stock charts about how bad this stock market route is. I don't know. Like, normally that's a good sign that we're close to the bottom. It's been a reliable indicator for me, all right?
Lucas says that's what I did yesterday when the afternoon sell-off began in S. I could have made nice profits just holding though. Air Cages says, Daddy, are we going to die?
Yes, Air Cages. I'm sorry. So sorry. I got the cough. I don't know if I'll be here much longer. But it was nice knowing you guys. It's been a great room. It's really sad that it has to end this way. It really is. It really is. What I just think, like, when I put what people say is going to happen,
dying.
there are
Uzi
people dying.
Knesset says go figure that 8 years after I left my job to trade full-time, I decide to finally open a stock portfolio, and the fucking stock market craters. PSSH hashtag retail life.
Oh, man. I mean, there are people dying, but they're old people. I was so bad. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to say that, but I'm just saying, like, people die from disease every day. Okay, the flu is the thing. If it was a bad flu season, tuberculosis is a thing. Tuberculosis is the biggest killer worldwide. I don't even know what tuberculosis is. Wait, hold on. Let's research.
Uzi
What the
Knesset
hell's
says we smokers are dying too apparently so, if I vanish suddenly, y'all know why lol.
tuberculosis?
Harlequin says you guys liking this volatility? I don't know if I am in the minority, but I find it
No.
much harder to trade. The moves seem so irrational sometimes. Some of my setups don't work with this much vola.
Yeah, this is what happens, Harlequin. Is at first all of the retail traders are like, oh my gosh, this volatility is a dream. You can make so much money. This is so great. And then they all stop out, and by day 3, they've all blown their accounts, like I did. And man, that's so dumb. I was making money. That was the thing. It went so fast, and I just was not.
Lucas says if you vanish, I will know you finally made it and don't need to trade anymore.
Could be.
Air Cages says being dead doesn't count unless the media reports on it.
Like the volatility is really nice for like a day or two, and then by the end of the week, everybody's like, this sucks.
Uzi Knesset says I'd consider dying as finally made it, lol.
Okay, tuberculosis is a disease caused by a bacteria called mycobacterium. The bacteria usually attacks the lungs, but they can also damage other parts of the body.
Harlequin says yeah, I am seeing some guys posting, man so easy to short, so much money to make. Best time ever and I'm just thinking. Thanks I didn't blow up lol.
Well, I mean, if you just went straight up short at the open and held it or something like that, then sure. Like on Monday, we probably could have taken some of the shorts that we had, and if I was willing to hold overnight, we could still be short. Because I have not seen anything pattern-wise that says to me that we've hit a
Uzi
bottom.
Knesset says well if we can get the retail sector to all start short selling stocks, we can get this bitch to 30k lol.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying that I have to see something like that for it to turn. It can certainly turn and surprise me, but I haven't seen the thing yet that like really says bounce to me. And it's not really quite been to like pandemonium yet. Because the thing that I keep seeing is that they kind of sell it, and it's really volatile, but I haven't seen the wild swings yet where it'll swing up
Air
100
Cages
points
says
and down 100
tuberculosis?
points.
What a terrible name. They need to hire Corona's branding team.
Right. Maybe people would take tuberculosis more seriously if they had better branding. Basic facts. Not everyone infected with TB becomes sick as a result. 2 related conditions exist latent, and if not treated, it can be fatal. It is spread through the air. Well, anyways, be healthy. This the thing is like, you have diabetes. So one of the things that I was told was that the risks in China were higher because there's a lot of people with diabetes in China. So it kind of hit them harder. So, go for a jog today. I am seeing... No, I'm not. Well, it could have gone short. Guess we missed it. We need to... I need to look at a couple of things here. So I'm doing some stuff with moving averages. I think I have an IRSMA, don't I? It'll be up here in this stuff. IRSMA. Yeah. And this one, I'm going to have it be that. And, oh, that's right. I have different colors for up or down. Let's look. And just apply that.
Uzi Knesset says personally, I have to acknowledge that we've been through this before. SARS, swine flu, bird flu, whatever, but I wasn't thinking about that shit working at a
Right.
grocery store.
I wasn't involved in markets back then.
Uzi Knesset says now it's all information all the fucking time, so I have to think about it.
Well, it's the internet age more now. Yeah, also you have to acknowledge, I know that this is going to sound incredibly partisan, but there are people out there that want bad things to happen. They just, deep in their hearts, they want something bad to happen because they think that it makes President Trump less likely to get reelected. So they're totally all down on panicking because of whatever. Well, that's where I just get back into, like, really think about the government here for a second. What incentives are there for government during an outbreak? Is the incentive for government to act rationally? I would argue that it is not. Right? Because they benefit from people panicking. Like, you panic and then you come to the government for support, and then the government can take more power or make more money. Or, if you're the CDC, like if you're the CDC, this is a go time, right? This is where you prove your case so that you can get more funding and you can all get paid more next year, right? It is. It's just, remember that people have an incentive. Or what? Let's say you're the news. Okay, you're the news. Is your incentive to be like, oh, it's not a big deal? No, nobody would turn in if you said that, right? Their incentive is to panic, and they want you to panic, and they're gonna make it out to be a bigger deal than it really is. They just are. Okay, so this IRSMA changes the color based on if we're up or down. I wonder.
Air Cages says purchase intent for Corona beer hit its lowest level in 2 years. This is not a
Did
joke.
it really? Did it really? Oh my gosh. So I was watching, I like to watch StarCraft. And the guys, the commentators on
Lucas
the
says if
ASL,
people are running towards the door, I am not going to stand between the door and them.
they were saying, do you think that it will make Corona beer purchases more or less? Well, apparently less. Apparently the answer is less. Yeah, don't stand between the door and them. Well, so let's talk strategy wise again, right? Scalping in this market is pretty sketchy, especially if you're a small trader. Okay, if you're a big trader, just reduce your size, trade with a bigger stop, and just take little pieces out. Okay, because it's going to be so volatile, you're going to be able to pull a small piece out, and then if it goes against you, you just get out really fast. You just do really fast trades, do lots of really fast trades, make your broker some money, but you can do really well trading that way in this kind of action. That's the way that I would trade it. But if you're a small account, it's the ATR and everything is just too insane. You don't want to mess with it, right? So just stay away. But we could think other places, right? Like,
D Coco says please whenever you can, would please tell us if knowing FX expiry dates is really that important to spot FX trading.
Well, so if you are trading Forex, it probably doesn't matter. If you are trading the futures, the spot FX futures, it is going to matter primarily in that you're going to see odd volume around those times or odd order flow. Now, I don't know if that really matters because the order flow in the FX futures is really weird anyways. I don't know how you trade those things on short time frames. I don't think that we really have the tools to be able to do that effectively. But I would say, Coco, anything
Harlequin
you know
says
about your
I'm doing
market.
quite the opposite, lol. With this market action, I am being more and more selective. Have only taken 4 trades so far this week.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, like, you can sit down and you can say, these are my trades and they only work in this certain kind of action, and you just don't trade, right? Like for me, probably should just not trade. I tried messing with it in the E-mini, and that was a mistake. So I don't know. So this again, we were talking about this in Discord, but you want to be where the money is going, right? So we've been saying, treasuries have been hard. This is the time that you want to be trading the treasuries for sure. So this is where, it's having really big swings. Decrease your size, increase your stop, and just trade the treasury.
Lucas says there's tons of opportunities. You can make a whole year's salary in these conditions.
Well, yeah, but you can also lose a whole year's salary in these conditions. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it starts, let me start over again, right? When it's, because I said this already, but when it starts and you see it happening, and you take that initial short and in the E-mini,
Lucas
or that
says,
initial
great to hear
long,
you say that, Seth. Now that I ditched treasuries and began trading S.
right? Or you buy that long in the treasuries and it just goes, and you can let that one ride, right? But now that it's been like 5 days, how do you know? Like, you guys were saying, well, I feel like I could just buy treasuries and just let it go all day. Well, there's like, I can't predict that. There's no way. I can't even. I can maybe make a guess over the next 5 seconds, but it's really hard. It's really hard in these kind of conditions. So when you're down at this spot and you haven't already taken advantage of it, I say that you might be better off just doing nothing, because the volatility is so much, you're so
Uzi
likely to
Knesset
stop out.
says, for the record, I ain't gonna do that, lol.
Okay. Yeah, I figure, but there really is a point. One of the reasons, well, okay, let me back up. Not back up. I keep saying back up. Okay, let me switch modes here. Let me make a different point. Look at the liquidity. We're getting 1,000 lots in the 10-year. We're literally maybe 2 or 3 dozen at each level in the E-mini right now. There is no liquidity in this market. Why? Because the market making robots get killed in these conditions and they turn them off. They literally have a switch and they say, don't run this anymore. Okay? I know this because I've flipped that switch before. They turn them off because it's not good market making conditions. Right? Now, that can provide opportunity for you as a retail trader, because you're going to get a fast market and you can get lucky. Flip my switch.
Uzi Knesset says, flip my switch, daddy.
Okay. So I'm just saying, yeah, you can make money, but it might also be a really good idea to just not touch it.
Lucas says, that's what I said yesterday. Poor market makers.
Yeah.
Air Cages says, when do the coronavirus symptoms start to kick in?
No.
Right off the bat.
That's the worst part, is it's like 2 weeks. So probably 2 weeks from now, there will be like 100 cases in the United States from this one guy. It's crazy. And we'll see how bad it gets in the US. But they're probably going to be really... I mean, there's going to be this point in the United States where they're really aggressive about it right now, to try and anybody that gets it gets quarantined.
Says, it hasn't been bad trading in ZB. Just sticking to my system and rolling with it. Hard to commit to anything for longer than 15 minutes, but it really hasn't been bad.
Yeah. The volatility in ZB has not been...
Harlequin says, and no one is even talking about Hong Kong anymore. Evil laugh.
You're right. You're better off trading in the treasury, because you're gonna get better trends. There is going to be more liquidity, so it's not going to be quite as volatile. You can catch a good swing, for sure. But you have to have strategies that work in these kinds of conditions. And if you're not experienced with them, then that's the other thing, right? If you have an edge here, then yeah, you take advantage of it. But if you don't,
D. Coco says, how does the treasury market impacts the US dollar?
well, it's really the other way around, Coco.
Harlequin says, and Epstein still didn't kill himself.
When people want to move into the dollar, like investors want to move into the dollar, they will transfer their money into dollars and then they will buy treasuries with it. So they're kind of correlated in that effect. And so when you look at the treasury, and the US dollar index, they're positively correlated. The difference is that the treasury also reacts to the interest rates, and I don't know. I'm not able to watch the dollar index, so I can't tell you tick for tick. But on a daily basis, generally, if the dollar index is up, treasuries are up. Yeah. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh, interesting. So I'm doing a moving average crossover strategy. I think what I want to do is I want to make an indicator that makes a sound when the lines are crossed. I made a sound last night. I wanted something that sounded like the flight attendant bell in an airplane. Let me play it for you. Let me play you the song of my people. Yeah. Is that good? Is that a pleasant sound to you guys? That's not too loud, is it? Yeah. So we're gonna open up a editor window.
Harlequin says, what's that sound? Am I having a doctor's appointment? Lucas says, I mean, if you change the robot to a flight attendant, it might be in tune.
That is going to be the sound that tells us to place an order. That's the way I think we're going to do it. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to cover the screen with it, but I'm going to program here a little bit.
Harlequin says, change it to Sheila Buffs. Just do it.
Just do it. Let's go find that. I might make multiple things. So I have, well, hold on a second here. Gotta change a couple of things so that we can actually see what we're looking at here.
Lucas says, S going for it already.
Yeah.
Harlequin says, or Epstein didn't kill himself. Sounds appropriate.
Well, the traders are coming in and are just apparently having the plan of just shorting it no matter what. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Oh my gosh, why does Twitter not log me in automatically? It's so annoying. All right.
Air Cages says, I just realized my Breaking Bad hazmat cosplay might come in handy again. Good thing it didn't sell on eBay.
Okay, cool. So I got this chart over here. I've added some moving averages to it. And I want to know when we're coming into that moving average. The green one. I want to see that green one. We've crossed the green one, and the blue one is moving up. This is what I want to see. Also, we need to message. Let's see if John has a okay. So I'm going to make it so that if it touches there, well, I don't know exactly how I want to do it, but maybe the first time that it touches the price in a bar will do it. So it should be like I don't want it to like ding over and over and over again, right? Just the first time that it touches it in that bar. Okay. So I'm going to have this calculate on each tick. We'll add the indicators here. Else if state equals state dot data loaded, add them in there. Vice President of Iran for Women and Family Affairs, Masawith Ekbar, tests positive on COVID-19, being the third senior Iranian official infected by the virus. So the whole Iranian cabinet has it now. Well, there's the treasuries moving up a little bit. But this one's a little fuzzy. We maybe have a buy here in the E-mini, but it's a little fuzzy. Shall we? Okay. Let's see. It's probably too volatile. Like I said, it's probably too volatile to be testing this, but for fun, while I'm doing this, we'll do that. No. Yeah, they never filled on the other side either, though. So probably not the best spot. Yeah. Okay, and then I want a Boolean bool triggered. Okay. So we want to say if the close of the previous bar was less than the moving average from the previous bar, and now the close of the current bar is greater than the SMA of the current bar, and not triggered oh wow, that really fell apart. What a panic. Political polls has Sanders up by 3 in Pennsylvania against Trump. I would ignore that poll. It actually has Trump up 3 over Bloomberg, though. That's interesting. That was a real doozy. Where do I do this? Here we are. Okay.
Harlequin says, so when does Hillary Clinton resurrect to screw over Bernie? Maybe during the last debate she just murders him with a knife and takes over?
Who is the one out there pushing the Hillary Clinton thing? Because I tell you what.
Uzi Knesset says it's weird to think there were more people at my wedding party than there are contracts on either side of YM law.
Oh, you know what? They've moved back to realistic territory. I just don't think that Hillary Clinton has as good of a chance of becoming president as Pete Buttigieg does. You know what I'm saying? That just seems a little silly. I guess having Michael Bloomberg up there is... I actually think that the top 4 now is reasonable. I think Pete should be higher than 5 cents, but, whatever. It's not looking super great for him at the moment. But I just do not see Joe Biden winning.
Harlequin says at UZI Knesset there were negative amount of people during your wedding party?
Really, Bernie and Pete are like the only choices that would work. Anybody else would be like destroy the party. Okay, now maybe this is kind of the sort of action that I was talking about.
Uzi Knesset says sure lol. Harlequin says oil right now is thicker than S-lol. Masiak says Bernie Sanders is my guru.
Okay.
Masiak says slightly smiling face. Lucas says I wonder if Ace is short from up higher now.
Well, so he showed me I was kind of trying to be a secret, but I just can't handle my excitement. He told me how to do it yesterday. And based on what I can see at the moment, he might have gone short around 3069, 3070. So probably. But well, there was I mean that's early for it, for one thing. I would actually maybe be getting out at this point too. Look at the I mean the swings on this are just that bar was almost 10 points.
Uzi
Down,
Knesset
up,
says he
down.
showed you how to do it, eh?
Yes. Because I'm not paying it close enough attention. That's why I'm writing this. That's why I'm writing this thing right now. Is to give
Lucas
us
says
a
so
sound.
you have his secret formula. Why didn't you go short?
You know, it's a super complicated formula, and it's going to take me a little bit of time to figure it all out, and piece all these things together so that I can make a real life. It's not. It's really simple. I think
Lucas says I
that'll
know
do
it's
it.
not complicated. Harlequin says is it the secret Krabby Patty formula from SpongeBob? Uzi Knesset says bullshit. It's just dopey common sense shit lol.
No, it's a moving average crossover strategy. To be honest, um, there's a little bit more to it than that, but it's a moving average crossover. So we need that. Oops, not.
Uzi Knesset says it's raining indices again astonished face.
Um, okay, this one's gonna be like
Harlequin
that.
says feeling sorry for swing longs in the indices.
Right. Well, did you see there where I saw a potential long, but I said it's a little fuzzy, and then it failed in spectacular fashion. They're toying with them, I think. So there's another one right there. I mean, I don't think that he would be taking longs, but there's one right there at 58.
Harlequin says don't fight the trend. You will get burned most of the times. Uzi Knesset says oof someone just burped there. Masiak says Seth could you explain how interpret cumulative delta?
Sure. So the cumulative delta is all market buys minus all market sells. The way that the software determines that can be one of two ways. One is based on the bid or ask. So they look at what the software says the bid and ask was at that time and what price they see that order going off at to determine whether it was a buy or a sell. This is an imperfect method of determining whether an order is a buy or a sell because your bid ask data might not be in complete sync with your volume data, but it's going to be pretty close enough that it's an insignificant thing. But I do want to point that out because I'm giving you the full thing. What you want to see is you want to see cumulative delta generally in line with price. If it's not, then what you are seeing is a divergence. So for instance, if I'm seeing cumulative delta going down and price is mostly going flat or even up, then what it means is that there's a lot of market sellers that is just not, there's a bunch of market sellers and they're just not getting anything for their efforts, right? It's same with, the swings, so if you have it comes down and then it comes down and it moves lower, but on that second swing lower, you didn't get a lower cumulative delta. That means that there was less market sellers on that move. So you have a divergence. When you have a divergence, it does not necessarily mean that there is a trade there. Well, let me rephrase. That doesn't mean that you have a long or a short, but it usually indicates that there's enough of an imbalance that it's worth taking a trade. And you have to kind of determine based on the context of which side it's going to be. So in the situation that we're talking about, it moved down and there wasn't as much market selling on the second move down, then that either means that buyers are going to hold it and we're going to move up and those sellers are all going to have to puke, or B, that the sellers are going to continue to push it down until all of the market, until they get all of the sells that they want. So you don't know which way it's going to go, but that imbalance tends to come back in line. Okay, so that's the way that I would use cumulative delta, is I would use it as an indication that there may be a potential trade. That was a really weird down move, but I think that you might buy that, actually. Wait. No. Maybe. But super risky.
Masiak says thank you.
Yeah. It's my favorite indicator, so.
Harlequin says when the overnight session has almost as much volume as some days during the whole session, lol.
It does too. Oh. You have to have capital.
Bot says you can see the same thing with the rock volatility indicator you helped me build, divergence against price movement.
Yeah. Like, the thing that's nice about cumulative delta is it's essentially indicating to you how many market orders was involved in any particular move. So you can kind of guesstimate it, right? You can sit down and you can say, well, there should be more people involved in this, and this is how much I think it is. And then you can just kind of estimate, okay, so if all of the orders that I think are going to come in actually do, this is how far they can move it. You know what I mean? Because it's actual people that we're talking about. Okay, so what were you sending me here, bots? That one is a double weighted moving average. And that one is a volume weighted moving average. Does it include like a special volume weighted moving average of some sort? I guess I'll just try it. I guess I'll just import it. Import.
Bots says yes, it's included.
Okay. Oh, it's just the regular Ninja script one though. Oh, it's taking it a while. That's interesting. Let's see what it added. Bin custom indicators. Date. Oh, yeah, it doesn't look like it actually added any indicators. Let's go to Fantail's website. Lizardindicators.com.
Bots says he doesn't have one listed.
It doesn't have one. VWAP.
Bots says he may have one built into some other multi-indicator package but not one by itself.
Volume weighted TPOs. Those are interesting. Volume weighted standard deviation. Mean absolute deviation.
Harlequin says surprised no one asked the most important questions. Is the coronavirus good for Garlicoin?
Probably not. Hasn't been good for Bitcoin, so that's probably not good for Garlic. I think we just need to make an IR version of the volume weighted moving average because whether it's rising or falling is important. Okay, let's add this over here. And what was the name of the sound file that I picked? It was like flight or something like that. Flight, not wave. Okay. So it's kind of giving along right now. In fact, it did give along.
Bots says so, add the color code from the Erie MA or Ear SMA.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I'm too lazy. Okay, where is it? IRSMA. And where's their VWAP indicator? Why? Oh, that's not what we want. Volume weighted moving average. There we go. IR volume weighted moving average. Generate. That. Just doing it at the end of this all. Okay. And we'll need the properties. Why is there slope color? What does that do? Oh, that is a. No, wait, I don't understand. What's the series? Oh, you added another series. I see. Okay.
Bot says slope color is your rising, slope, falling.
Gotcha. Oh, you don't set defaults for those? That's interesting. Okay.
Bot says wait a minute, something just occurred to me.
Hmm.
Aben Nisik says morning.
Good morning. That's a new name. How are you? It's an interesting name.
Ace Trade says morning.
That bit of code in there actually doesn't seem like
Bot says VWMA is included in this indicator in your Discord PM.
is that an IR one though? I'm not gonna install this
RJ
one.
Wheel says good morning.
I'm gonna open it up. Holy crap.
Bot says no fat tails indicator.
No, he's just using the regular one. Tons of stuff though. That's crazy. Must be a really complicated thing he's got going on there. Why is there a Boolean for slope color in the first place? Because it looks like it will always calculate out to be true. Well, I guess all I can do is try it. IR volume weighted moving average. The up color should be like, well, I'm going to make this something that's really obvious for the moment. So like lime, and the down color like goldenrod or something like that. Well, there's Treasury's new high. My, oh my. Only 2 orders hit into 24.5, though. That's interesting. Let's get rid of this one because they must be covering each other up. Mm-mm-mm-mm. No, I can't tell. I picked colors that apparently I'm not very good at telling the difference between because I don't see the difference between them. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I know they moved down again. It's like they make the attempt and then it fails and they go lower. Aha, that does work.
Bots says ZB is only 8 points away from its all-time high now, trading 169 handle and ATH is 177.11.
Well, the email is about to open. This isn't one, this is something else.
Bots says what are you trying to build there, Settenmeister?
So
Uzi Knesset says free Slurpees at 177.11.
I think we're okay. Basically just getting this line right here to color differently based on whether we're moving up or down. I'm just doing little bits of pieces at a time. So the next thing I'm noticing is that the lines need to be thicker.
Bot says typo Sethmeister.
I think that this should be like a 2-pixel line. I wanted to be long into the open. That's what I was trying to do. Okay.
Bot says what are the 2 moving averages you're using? VWMA and?
And an SMA. I have the
Harlequin says
IR
now
SMA.
let's see if we get a rebound with the open.
Well, so far, no. So far, no. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's the long.
Bot says what period settings on the two of them?
I already told
Harlequin says so far yes lol.
you. I told you yesterday. But don't it's shh. Don't tell them. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of fun to keep it a secret. Actually, the funny thing was, Ace was like, well, the reason why we hadn't gotten into it earlier was because he didn't actually know what he was using. Like he didn't know the
Bot
name
says
of
you
them.
told me.
Yes, yesterday. Those were the ones that I was telling you about yesterday, right? So far, pretty volatile open. We'll see. I'm just gonna like run it without a stop because it's like, doesn't matter. We'll see. So there's the sellers making a pretty good push down. Never got a ding sound.
Harlequin says finally you listened. Stops are for pussies. Just double down when you are almost margin called.
Oh yeah, let's buy more right here at 48.50. What do you think? What not to do? There you go, right there. What not to do? Average down. Bad idea. But it's fun. It is fun. Well, it's fun when it's working.
Harlequin says martingale the shit out of this.
The funny thing is if I had put that target in there fast enough, it would have filled. Would have filled. No, don't go down. Stop. What's a good color for down? I was doing cyan for blue, so I should do something kind of pinkish for down. Maybe I should just straight up use pink. Oh, look at that. Maybe medium orchid. Hmm. Hmm. Takes it so long for it to reload for some reason.
Lucas says why did you talk me out of selling and letting the market print me money while I relax Seth?
Of selling the E-mini? Well, I guess an hour ago would have been a good idea. Man, it turns awfully fast. I guess I should have had one sitting here. So they probed the open and then filled it. Oh, okay, so I see a problem here. This is an overlay. True. Um, mm, oh, another thing that we gotta do. Cool. A little bit of congestion there around 51. There we go. Oh, I need to.
Harlequin says 150k volume in 8 minutes. Lol.
It's crazy move. Is overlay display and data point. Hey, not bad. Lucky guess. Lucky guess. That's what that was. I'm not quite sure what it is that I have on this chart that makes it load so slow. I'm going to need to investigate that later. It's probably one of my indicators, and we should fix that. There we go. Okay. So, how high can this go? 3,100 maybe even. Well, that's asking for a lot, folks. Well, sellers coming in.
Masiak says what the hell is going on?
Well, the market wants to trade, I guess. So they're doing all sorts of crazy things. Trading. That's the best explanation I got. Traders gonna trade. Oh. Oh, that's built into the AMI multi.
Harlequin says rather margins gonna called.
Okay. So it should have. Okay. Hold on. Did it? No, it did not. I see. I see. That's so annoying. If current bars is less than 1, then return. Wait, did it? Oh.
Harlequin says every time I think buyers finally gonna push, sellers step in to finish the job lol.
Well, I thought that they made a good buy. I mean, it could turn back up again. That one wouldn't, if it turned back up again, though, that wouldn't really be one that we'd be able to take advantage of, though. Woo, look at them treasuries go. That is not sustainable.
Masiak says one good entrance and wheel can go for vacation.
Push lower. Is there a way to change the time interval down in here so that it will give me dots more frequently? Let's see here. Maybe properties.
Masiak says but rather not to Italy. Uzi Knesset says good God lol.
Talk about crazy, right? World Health Organization's Ryan Dyer from
Harlequin
China
says
doesn't
wouldn't recommend
suggest
China either.
asymptomatic cases are driving coronavirus epidemic. Oh, because there was a case that was asymptomatic, huh? That's what that's about.
Uzi Knesset says Iran's vice president gets hit with COVID.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Well, a number of the cabinet members have it now. They all have it. They'll be okay, guys. Okay. They selling this. Wow, they selling this.
Masiak says better first check for this map.
Okay, so they might put a potential pivot in here.
Sebastian Marquez says what?
Yeah. Yep. They're fighting it hard. Oh, I know something else I got to do. This one needs to be on each tick. Okay, so that one did not confirm a pivot. Whoa.
Masiak says according to this map in North Korea 0 infected.
Whoa. What was that? You buy that shit, right? Wow. Nope. Nope. Stop. Stop. Man. What a bender. It's really slowed down there. My oh my. I think there's a lot of people short, guys. Let's look at them cover when it moves up. That's wild. Okay, so that's giving me a long signal. It didn't move. Okay, didn't make the sound. Flight dot wav. Do I not have it filled out? I don't. Shouldn't it be playing the sound right now? Guys. Why is it not doing it? Also, why does... Do I have debug mode on? No. I'm not sure what takes forever. It's like loading all of these at the same time. Does it affect my CPU? Oh, really? Hey, that one worked well. I didn't even have to cancel my stop. Can you believe? Can you believe it? Do you? Oh, we're gonna positive on the hour. Positive on the hour. Hey, this is looking good, guys. Look, hey, look. You look. It's not so bad. See? We're not all gonna die. Not all. Just a few of you.
Masiak says I took some tick for this swing.
Good job. Job. Hey, the point of control on that bar was up at the top, too. I don't know if that means anything, but it's interesting to me. I think it means that he had a really strong selling. I think in that one that because we had the point of control at the bottom of the bar, it indicates trap traders when we were down at 30.35. Wow, 30.35. That's crazy. Should move my stop for sure. No, we'll leave it at $50. All right. We'll give up half of our profits. All right. Hey, them buyers coming in. Go, 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 go. You see, guys, it's easy. If you just learn how to trade, I wouldn't have to work hard. Oh, I didn't like that. Getting a little bit of wiki up here. They're fighting that hourly open. Okay. Oh man, look at how fast the treasuries got killed on the way down too. Like they were really quiet for the most part. They had that big move up and they immediately turned back down and it came down so much faster than it came up. That's something else. No, don't hit my stuff. Okay, fine. It worked. You know what that means? It means that you could maybe go short there. Should we do it? It didn't. We need to. Okay, now we can do it. We need it to go through it a little bit first. Suck. New bar. And it gave it to us again. Okay. So that already tells me something. Okay. Let's try it again. Try it again. Don't stop me out, please, sir. Nope. See, it's that the ITR is just too high. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so how can we deal with this? Maybe if it's triggered once in the last 3 bars, we should not close it?
Masiak says maybe it's end of diving and wait for Wyckoff accumulation.
Mm. You know what, though? I need to add on here an ATR. Let's do an ATR of 10. To tell us that, hey, Seth, you probably shouldn't take trades here. No, I'm chasing now. Crap. Okay, I don't know how I did that just there, but oh, I missed it. The chart is so messy. Oh my gosh. Thank you. What happened there? Okay, we're cool. We're good. We're good. See, I'm thinking an ATR of anything over like 4 is probably untradeable for me. You know what? I don't think it should be a line. I think it should be a histogram. ATR, ATR. Do it as a bar. Thank you. Atlanta Fed GDP now estimate for first quarter growth is 2.7 versus an expected 2.8. Also, pending home sales, we got 5.7 versus an expected 8.3, which is no good. Perhaps part of some of the volatility. I think that when it's triggered, we should wait for the bars to cross back the other way to say, yeah. Because otherwise you get long, 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 short, 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 short. Shouldn't work. And I guess don't even need this. These can both be false. Okay. I tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen my 5 minute bars be more messy. I cannot make any sense at all to any of that. I just see inside outside bars all over the place. Why? Why? Okay. That's a long. How do you guys like that sound? It's good. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. The cumulative delta. It's very interesting here. You know what? Some of the logic that I've got in here is not gonna work. I'm just realizing.
Masiak says this volatility
Nice.
make that I heard my heart.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. Just trade it
RJ Wheels says it sure isn't easy.
do it like that. We'll set like a reset interval so that it can only go off every 3 bars. Because otherwise you get this thing. What I could do is I could measure the distance between the two moving averages and only reset it once it's been wide enough. This is another good way of thinking about it. Like compared to the ATR, something like that. At the moment, it looks to me like buyers are trying to dig it out here, and sellers keep coming in and trying to stop it. There we go. I guess maybe we kind of just got a short. Kind of. Um, trying to remember. I'm gonna email somebody here. Sorry, it's been quiet, but I'm looking at this thing and trying to make sure that I got it all right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Do I want to? Is there anything else that I should be sending over here? No, I think so. Mm-hmm.
Antenna Wild says the downtrend should continue for at least a week or two.
Uh, I think that you're gonna probably see some wild up days and some wild down days all over the place for the next few weeks. I mean, we're at like what 10% now. It's possible that this could be a 20%. We could get a 20% pullback. It's possible we could get a 50%. Frankly, um, overall though, the market just seems really irrational to me. Obviously, way too wild to really seriously trade.
Antenna Wild says at least a correction.
Yeah. Where is it?
Masiak says do they get 3000 LVL today?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did they get? I don't know, man. Oh, they're so close though, man. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're gunning for it. Well, it's to a spot where they could maybe give us another long. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, ouch. I kind of thought that might have been a place where they might try and make a temporary turnaround. Nope. They didn't really give you a very good short, though. Like, it was so all over the place in there. If it comes back up hard enough, it could give long. It could. Hmm. It just keeps bending down, man. $25. The bonds aren't
RJ Wheels says relentless.
the bonds aren't like super up triggered though. I mean, they kind of slowly came up. They're actually threatening to push down. That might be a lure, but the things don't quite match up. I might get a long here. Hmm. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing is that there's a lot more volume around the 26, 27 area, and they're having a little bit of a hard time building the volume here at 24, but they're starting to come in a little bit now. You see how, okay, seller's so insistent. No, I just want to sell it all day.
Masiak says yes 26 is like 46 later.
Okay, well, now they've definitely built more volume at 24.
Masiak says before sorry.
Yeah.
Masiak says for my English.
No, I understood what you meant. This just it doesn't show. Like the funny thing about this one is that um it's just been down, 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 down these last few bars. It hasn't given you any kind of a reprieve at all for the last oh I want to say hour. Has it really been that long? Yeah. Like we had some stuff at the open and that's when I made all of those weird plays. And now for the last almost hour, it's just been nothing but down. But the treasuries aren't really moving. So that's a little suspicious to me. In fact, a lot of the volume was flat through some of that period too. Okay, so there was a stop run. That might be something that could trigger a reversal. Let's see. Yeah. Man. Okay. So, like, I could do this a couple of times before. Interestingly enough, point of control was down there at the bottom there for a second. That might actually be a
Sebastian Marquez says, why aren't you selling, Seth?
Well, I missed the sell. When it comes down here to these points, I'm not so good at the moment in the E-mini at least of telling if it's going to continue or not. So all I can see is that they're trading a good amount of volume and that there's a possibility of a flip. Nope. That's not too encouraging. Definitely slowed down though. That was just kind of spitballing. Well, now they're within 10 of 3,000. Do you remember when it was so hard for them to bust through 10,000? I guess that kind of puts it in perspective, doesn't it? We were at this level no more than like 3 or 4 months ago. Okay. So there was another one. Like, I'm just looking to see like a volume and then have them push and hold above that volume, right? So there was a little bit of it there at 07. So you're just kind of seeing little things that could turn it really hard. It's too fast. It's so fast. That won't fill either. Oh, maybe that one will. Okay, now I should get a ding here in a second. Oh, I don't think it gave me one because it wasn't. Actually, I don't know why it didn't give me one there. Should have. I broke it, guys. I broke it. No. Maybe. Almost. Come on, you can do it. Oh, it's so hard. Nope. Oh, oh, oh. They're gonna turn. They could turn all the way back down. Frankly, wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, okay. Somebody really doesn't want it to go higher there. That would be the high of the hour. So, well, of the last 10 minutes, I guess, but they're clearly fighting that spot.
RJ Wheels says 1030 reversal? In this market?
Yeah, right? Hey, come on. Almost. Almost. Yay. I can't believe I caught that one. That was just on one contract. Well, I lost, what, twice trying to get it? No, I only lost once trying to get it. Hey, not bad at all. Even with a couple of bad trades in there. And how many did we take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 plus a quarter of that is 4. So 16. We need to make 8 more dollars, guys. Can we do it? I think that um, I think that just $100 before the commissions, maybe we should settle for that. So I don't know what it's gonna do from here. Man, that could be such a good long. But it didn't give me the ding. Why did it not ding? It passed up through the thing. Not triggered. And triggered bar, that must not ever be getting called. Oh. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Current bar minus triggered bar. Let's retest it before I try and give it to my testers. So I would like to see a turn down here, simply because I want my indicator to be tested.
Masiak says nice engulfing pattern at M5.
I'm actually seeing a couple of things here that suggest to me that we're going to get at least a little bit of a reprieve. Okay, now it seems to be working. Sometimes I still get tons of longs in a row, though. So let's change this to like more like 5. So we got an outside bar. Okay, yeah, it just did it. That's funny. Just gave the short again. But that one was a little questionable. Okay, well, that's a little bit better. So okay. It's the wrong one. So that one gave a false signal for sure. That means you could buy it and it could be really good though. No, they're trying so hard to hold it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we have $100 net on the day. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah. Ooh, that was nice. What are the treasuries getting killed? That treasury's unmoved. Treasury's unmoved. That's so interesting to me. Oh, what am I missing? What am I getting here? Oh, somebody at work is messaging me. That's not good. Oh, an item I'm interested in ends soon. Let's go look. Let's go look. I want this microphone, folks. I've been waiting. I want this microphone, but I gotta get a good deal on it. Don't go and buy the microphone for me. We gotta get a good deal, all right? Gotta get a good deal. Am I not logged in? Let me sign in. I only got an hour. 130 for the Super 55. That's good. This one, that should be. I mean, these should be going for like. I think if you buy this brand new, it's like $250 or something. But what I want is like this, like one of these. See, I think 84 is too much. Well, actually, 80. You know, if it was 100 after the shipping, I'd say that's respectable. But like a good deal would be like after shipping $80, $90, you know? Former Fed Chair Janet Yellen warns coronavirus could throw the U.S. into recession. Maybe. I still feel that 2 quarters of negative growth is unlikely. Like, honestly, as hard of a push down as this has been, I think we've seen worse. I think that I have recordings that are worse. You know? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like that, like December of 2018. That was bad. So, you know, a year and 3 months ago or something like that, right? That was ugly market. This is not quite the same thing. There are some similarities, but it's not quite the same thing. That one looked to me like somebody was intentionally pushing the market down. This to me looks like there are some people out there that are intentionally trying to push the market down, but that there's also just a lot of people that are just scared or have no clue what is going on. The book is so thin, most high frequency traders have been gone for days. Yeah, show me the volume's been around for a bit. We should give him his regular permissions. The liquidity in the ES is just crazy, right? Still pretty wild. Average true range.
Antenna Wild says whales coordinate big moves, push it down, then coordinate the buybacks at an agreed upon low.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. I wouldn't have any proof of that. I don't know about an agreed upon level. In a market like this, I don't see it. I typically don't see like a huge pick up like icebergs down at the bottom and they all buy it. I've seen that before, but in action like this, it's usually more like the reversal that we saw. Too much too many people get stuck at the bottom, but it's going wild. There's not like a huge, I mean, when we look back at the bottom.
Antenna Wild says the fact that Monday opened with a sudden massive drop confirms this.
So there was like 550. So it wasn't huge amounts down there. How does that confirm anything? You're alleging a conspiracy. The only way that you can prove the conspiracy is happening is if you have proof that multiple parties made an agreement on a specific level in which to buy. Or maybe you could go and so for instance, you could go on the exchange and you could show, hey, these people bought at these levels and it all coincides. But even that wouldn't be proof in a court of law because you would still have to prove that wasn't a coincidence, that it was actually coordinated. Right? Got a short? I'm a little suspicious of this one. I think the thing that I'm looking for with the ding. I think the thing that I'm looking for with the ding, you're looking for maybe 8 ticks, and in this kind of action, that might not. It's probably not a great trade. So, I'm not entirely sure that this sell here is great. But I got the sound. I'm happy. And it sounds, is it not pleasant? I think it's a pleasant sound. It's just like, oh, maybe I should sell it. Well, it does seem to be working out. But it was too, you probably would have gotten stopped out.
Antenna Wild says it's true, that's just my theory, but insider trading at the highest levels have been going on for decades. Look at Goldman Sachs with the subprime mortgages.
Yeah, well, so what was it that they did with the subprime? Well, no, I think that was a little bit different, right? The thing that they did was that they, they didn't actually do anything
Wild
wrong.
Says they squeeze the market like an accordion. Then everyone else chases it. That's where the volatility comes in.
They didn't necessarily do anything legally wrong, but they still took a bad rap for it, right? Because they basically were saying that what they were putting into those securities was misrepresented, and Goldman knew that it was a bad idea, but they have no obligation to tell the person that wants to buy it that that's the case. Ooh. So yeah, do you see how I said I was skeptical of the short? You could have gotten your 8 ticks. It probably would have stopped you out first. Now they're pushing back up. It's like whenever you get to that point, there's like big fight. So probably not a good place to try and push it.
Antenna Wild says Goldman Sachs admitted it defrauded investors during the financial crisis.
Did they make an admission that they defraud? Let's search for that. Goldman admits defraud. How do I spell that? Defrauded investors. Okay. So which one was the thing? It looks to me like they just took a settlement to get it out of the way. They were saying loans had packaged into a AAA rated mortgage. That was defrauding people. I think, well, that's interesting. So one of the things that happens that I hear all the time, and this is not the case that you're talking about, Antenna, but comes up a lot, is people will say, oh, Goldman Sachs says to buy it. That must mean that they're going short right now. It does not work that way. Trust me. Okay. The people that put the research out are completely separate from the people that make the trades, right? They're completely separate divisions. They're in different states and they are not allowed to talk to each other. Like they monitor you. And if you are talking to each other, you're out. They are so incredibly careful and paranoid about this wall. So that the people that are doing research are not allowed to talk to the traders. They will put the research out. The traders get it the same as everybody else. So the idea that Goldman would, take some position and then go and put out research for on a particular thing is absolute nonsense. But it could be the case because they're completely separate people. It could be the case that the same stock that the research guys are looking at putting a positive article out on, that the traders are actually selling at that time. And because they're on different sides of the wall, they don't know. So with these mortgage-backed security things, it kind of looks like a similar, in some instances, it's kind of a similar thing where like the guy that would do the analysis that would say, hey, this is a good investment, I think you should take it, is different from the person that actually gives it the rating. And so what you had to happen there was they put the rating in because they can basically say whatever they want about it. But then the person that actually does the analysis looks at it and is like, well, that's no good. But they can't say anything. So I think that they kind of got caught going against themselves in a way in which obviously it doesn't mean that what they did was okay, but it was something that was kind of bound to happen. You know what I mean? And that's what you see very often. It's like, you go back, what was this article in the Rolling Stone by, I think his name was Taleb or something like that, where he called Goldman Sachs vampire squid. And he was like, okay, here's every financial crisis, and here's how Goldman Sachs basically caused that financial crisis. And it was like so silly because it was like, look, like if you're a bank, you're involved in the banking industry. Yeah, so you would have taken losses or been involved in the same problems that everybody else was, because it's not that they're causing it to happen. It's that the regulations basically set up in such a way that people take investments that then cause
Antenna
the
Wild
issue.
says vampire squid. Haha, I remember that.
Yeah, the vampire squid thing was good. I worked for them at the time that article come out. So, but it was always so funny to everybody because you worked there and like everybody would hit. I was just in technology, of course, but there were so many things that people would say about it that just, if you worked in there, would seem so ridiculous. Because it was like those are like two different parts of the bank. Like they're not even allowed to talk to each other. Well, that up move was pretty good. Wait, now where are we now? Okay, so we have completely erased all of the selling that we've had from the open? No, not quite. Well, 52 was where the open was. I guess we're not at a new high, but they're gonna get above 70, and then who knows? Maybe we could go and try and test the 3100 then at that point. But pretty good buy so far. Pretty good buy so far. Oh, I know what I'm forgetting because I'm thinking like I should be going. And why am I not going? Because I need to generate my Bitcoin charts. And I need to roll over my Bitcoin futures. Database management, roll over. I guess part of the liquidity that I'm seeing here in the treasuries is because we should be rolling over today, huh? We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow on the day that you really have to do it. All right. Okay. So is that? It's the 27th today, right? A little bit of a bounce, but not much. What should we call today's title? Oh, yes, we're going to call it We're All Going to Die. Yes, that's what it's going to be. Mm-mm. Oh, it's Thursday.
Jerry is awake says I couldn't believe they could rate rotten meat as triple a lol.
Okay, so there's that. And today we're going to call today's video We're All Going to Die. All right. I know it wasn't the most exciting thing today, but hey, we made $100. Could have made more. Probably could have made 200, 300 bucks if I had held on to some that long or, done a couple of other things. But hey, 2 more trades than I should have taken, but worked. That might be a little bit of random chance. And our indicator is working and we get our ding and it's great. And I love it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.